Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today I'm going to be reviewing a actual board game app. It's not a physical game at all. It has just come out on apps recently, and it's kind of a big deal recently. It's a lot of people are playing this game currently, and that is Marvel Snap, which is a Marvel themed card game that is only on apps right now. And a quick overview of how this game works. It's a very simple card game, and it's only 6 different rounds. And you are going to be playing cards from your hand into these 3 different location spots in order to have the most power at these locations. And whoever has the most power at 2 of these locations wins the game. Now, you are going to be playing these cards out, and each of these cards has a money amount that you have to basically pay for it, or an energy amount, and that also has a certain number of power on that card. And a lot of them have different effects on them that will be going on throughout the game. And so each round you are going to get, so the first round you only get 1 energy, second round you get 2 energy, third round you get 3 energy, and so on until you get to the 6th round, which you get 6 energy, of course. So you're going to be playing these cards out, and each of these locations that you're playing these cards out on has a special, unique aspect to them. And each of the first location is revealed in the first round. The second location's special ability is revealed in the second round. The third location's ability is revealed in the third round. So you're just playing off of those. And those different locations can do different crazy things, like +1 for all the cards there, or this location gets destroyed after 3 rounds, or things like that. But there's a ton of different location cards. So combining that with the special abilities of your cards, it just makes for a lot of variability from game to game. Now, each of these decks are only 12 cards, and each round you draw a card, unless some other effect will let you draw more cards throughout the game. And you start with 3 cards. So you're going to see most of your deck each of these games that you're playing. And these rounds, I say this game takes about 2 minutes to play a whole 6 rounds of. And throughout the game, you can also retreat. If you see that you're losing, you can retreat early on and lose less points. And the points basically are just letting you move up higher in the levels, which to me, the levels don't matter. But that's basically the game at its crux of what it actually is. So it's a very simple game to play, very fast to play at. And each of these rounds that you're playing, you are revealing the cards at the same exact time. You don't know where your opponent's going to play for each of these locations. So you reveal at the same time, kind of thing, and do those effects. And the cards, there's lots and lots and lots of cards that you're going to have, and you're going to get more cards as you level up throughout the game. And then you can deck build these cards together and have multiple different decks that you can play as. So before I get into my negatives and positives of the game, one of my friends did tell me, man, I wish this was a physical card game. I would buy that. I personally would probably disagree with that, because there's so many crazy things that are going on, so many things that are buffing other cards, that there would be so much upkeep in this game if it was an actual physical game, where the app actually does that by itself in this, of course. So to me, I don't think you would have to lower the creativity level of this game if you made the physical game, or else it would just be too much upkeep and too many things going on. To just have this as a physical game, I don't think would work that well, in my opinion. So let's go to my negatives. And there's just a couple negatives. I generally like this game. I've played it a ton over the last few weeks. Like every single day I've been probably playing this game at least a half an hour every single day. Like I get some time to play a game. I mean, it only takes 2 minutes, so you can play a lot of games every single day. So my only negatives, I would say, is I don't really care about leveling up in this game, because there's not really that much of a benefit. It's just you just get to see how high you get. And each game that you play, you could either go up 2 points or 4 points, depending on if people snap. And snapping is kind of like the doubling down mechanism. Like if you think you're going to win, you snap, and then that game is going to be worth more. So you'd either go up more points or go down even more points. So that's the one thing that I don't really care about is leveling up in this game, which seems to be a big mechanic of it, but I just don't care about that aspect of it. I mean, I know a lot of people will. For me personally, I'm not going to care too much about it. The second negative to me is there is a lot of cards, which I like, but for the deck building aspect, I feel like the deck building is a little bit boring because I feel like it's pretty obvious which cards you should put in which decks. Like if you want to make a deck that's really good at destroying cards, you just put all the cards that are destroying cards in there. I think it's really obvious which cards will work well with other cards. So I don't think you have like that good of a creative process of deck building. It's not bad or anything. I do like how many cards there are, and I like that I can have multiple decks and I can try them out. And if I do get bored of a deck, I'm like, after I play it for like a day, I'm like, okay, let's try this different style of deck and go build that really quick and try that out. But I just don't think the deck building is that interesting. So those are my only two negatives that I would say for this game. The other things I think are just really positive. I like that it's very fast. I like that you can play this in 2 minutes. One of the bad things I should say, there's another negative, is I don't like the retreating aspect of it, because I want to see how each of these games play out, but some people, if it's going bad, they'll retreat early on in order to lose less points, because if you retreat early, then you'll lose less points. So that's another negative, I should say. But yeah, the 2-minute game, I really like that, and that's why retreating to me is not fun, because I just want to see how it plays out. It's so fast that I don't like when people retreat, because I want to see how it plays out. Whether I win or lose, I just want to see how everything turns out. I really like the locations, that all the locations are super creative and they're all random, so you're going to get a ton of variability throughout the game. There are still locations that every time like a new location pops up, I'm going, wow, that's pretty crazy. And all the card abilities. There are still a lot of cards that I've never seen. And it will show you if you've never seen that card before. If someone plays a card, you're like, wow, I want to get that card. That's a really good card. So, and then one thing, this game will just keep my attention the whole time. I always feel invested in this game. No matter how short it is, I feel invested in this game. And this game reminds me of 3 different games that I personally like. The first, it feels like a Magic game, Magic the Gathering, but much more simpler, and the app, of course, takes care of all of the upkeep and stuff like that, which I don't really like in Magic the Gathering. It feels like Magic the Gathering. It also feels like Air, Land, and Sea, a simple card game where you're trying to have the most power at 2 out of 3 locations, exactly like this game. And the final thing is, it feels like Radlands a little bit to me. Having those locations and everything, and having special abilities on those locations. So it feels like a combination of 3 different games that I generally like. And yeah, so that's Marvel Snap. My overall thoughts of this game, the overall view, I would give this probably an 8.5. I really have enjoyed it. I don't know for how much longer I'll continue to play it. It is free to play, which I do enjoy that aspect as well. Hey there, Griffers. I do enjoy that it's free to play, and there's not that much benefit in buying the upgrades and stuff, because you're not buying better, more powerful cards, you're just unlocking more things faster. So, but there's not really any reason to spend money in this game, and that's one thing that I really like. You can spend money if you want, but there's not a huge reason to, in my opinion. So yeah, 8.5, I really like it. I assume I'm going to continue playing it for a little bit longer, and maybe I'll put it away for a while, but then I'll eventually come back to it. So yeah, 8.5 for Marvel Snap, game I really enjoy. I would definitely check it out, especially since it's free to play. But that will conclude this review of this board game app. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. Take care.